Good morning, and welcome to the Brenda Perryman Show right here on TV 33, WHPR, Comcast 90 in Detroit, and all over the world, courtesy of the World Wide Web and more. We also have the WHPR app that you could download on your phone, so you can watch us anywhere, everywhere. And I have a great show for you this morning. My second set of guests, they have been coming on the show for years. They started off as little boys sitting on their father's lap, and now they're teenagers, but they're entrepreneurs. And it shows you how young people can start their own businesses, which these young men have. But my first guest, I'm so excited to meet her and to talk to her. And this is Tanisha Brugnoni.
Yes.
I got it.
You got it.
I got it. And she has the Idlewild International Film Festival.
Yes. Thanks for having me on, Brenda.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. So let's talk a little history. Mm-hmm. I mean, have you always been interested in the arts or film?
Born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. Went to Denby High School, graduated from Wayne State University. I majored in media arts and studies with a production track, so I have a background in producing mainly. And even before that, I used to do poetry events. Always was a writer. Yes, I used to do poetry events all over Metro Detroit. So I've always been in the arts to some degree.
Right. Poetry events, I tell you, I'm a poet.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And I know Jessica and all.
Cool.
All
Jessica Caramore, Omari,
yes.
Wise, yes.
Well, I used to do a lot of open mics and stuff, and then I ended up going on tour and just a whole bunch of other stuff.
Awesome.
But poetry is my thing. I love that too. Well, I told you I love the arts. So after Denby, is that when you went to Wayne or what?
No, actually, I did not go to college right out of high school. I actually had children first, and so I was a parent with children while I was going to school at Wayne State. So full-time student, full-time parent,
wow, that's
working.
A challenge. That can be a challenge.
So it took me a little longer than, it probably would have took someone without raising a family to get through college, but eventually I did prevail.
Right, and so in college you took film studies and all of that.
Yes.
And so was there a particular concentration? You said producing.
Producing,
right?
yes.
Now, what does that entail?
Mostly the business aspects of filmmaking. I was actually part of a group called the Michigan Creative Film Alliance, and that was part of the program that when we had the film incentives, they supported that. Do you recall that a few years back?
Yes, of course, of course.
So I was part of that group.
I was trying to fight against those incentives being taken away because they had just come, basically.
Right.
And then they took them away, and I still don't quite understand.
A lot of political
stuff. It was very political, political, because it just felt like many of us could get in the game, really.
Yeah, there were a lot of opportunities opening up for people like me who did not want to leave Michigan. I was able to produce a couple of short films. One film was called Beauty Queen, and that premiered, I believe, at the, I want to say, Blue Water Film Festival. I don't really remember. It was quite some time ago. And then we did another film called Downriver, and that film actually won about 5 or 6 awards. So it was really a successful program. It just did not have the support. So since that last film, Downriver, they haven't been able to put the program together.
Yeah, but people are talking about incentives maybe coming back. I thought they were good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know, because what the problem was that I heard was that there was not a way of measuring, how everything was affected.
But see, the thing was they didn't give it an opportunity to kind of play out. I mean, it seemed like they were canceling. They started canceling it before it
Right.
really got off the ground because people were. I mean, I saw so much energy during that time.
Yes, yes.
There was a lot.
And there's a
of energy.
resurgence of that energy now.
Right.
Actually, my festival is supported by the Michigan Film and Digital Media Office, so they are supporting it. They
Wow.
did give me funds towards this. So they see value in what we're doing with the film industry in Michigan.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. So, Idlewild, why Idlewild?
Okay, why Idlewild? Well, I did not know that there was an actual Idlewild in Michigan until last year. So I actually went there on a music festival. It's called Summer Oasis Music Festival. And
Yes.
I was on vacation and I was just wandering around with my camera and I saw how beautiful Idlewild was. So after the vacation, I ended up with all this really picturesque footage. And so I went home and I started playing with it because I also, know how to edit and do a lot of other little different things. And then I realized that there was a story in this footage, so I ended up going back to Idlewild to capture more footage, and I put together a short film which is called With Love from Idlewild, and that film has screened at two different festivals, I believe, and we're on our third festival. The first festival was the Marshall Film Festival in Marshall, yeah, it's called the Wolf Tree Film Festival
Right.
in Marshall, Michigan. The second one was the Free Press
Free
Film
Press,
Festival, yes, and now we were accepted into the Asian African Cincinnati Film Festival. I'm so bad with names, but that one is coming up August 31st, I believe.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's good.
Yeah.
That is really great. So, how did you secure films? How did?
Oh, for the film festival. So after the short film With Love for Idlewild started circulating, or during that time, I'm actually I've been doing different events where I show the film and then I tell people about Idlewild and also the film festival. So I'm using that as a promotional tool. So what happened is while I was, working on With Love from Idlewild, I had already been, just bouncing around the idea of a film festival long before I went to Idlewild. And so I had started putting this into place, and then it just snapped. I don't really recall exactly when. It was like, why not do it in Idlewild? And so the reason I chose Idlewild is because Idlewild is actually, Lake County is one of the poorest counties in Michigan, and so I didn't feel like there was enough exposure to the arts in terms of like filmmaking and things like that. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to bring more arts to that community. So that was one of the reasons.
People have been doing the past few years. People have been doing some things up there.
Yes.
And you think about the rich history of Idlewild as far as the arts and entertainment is concerned. I would hope that it would come back to its prominence.
Yes.
Now you're offering people camping and stuff. Why don't you kind of describe what the weekend looks like?
Okay, so the weekend, Friday will be our inaugural day, our celebration. The gates will open around 4 o'clock. I believe we decided 4 o'clock now. And we'll have what will be like a drum cipher led by Ife Best, which is one of our local drummers here in Detroit.
Right.
So we'll have that. We'll have a bonfire. There'll be music. There'll be entertainment. We have dancers dancing. Then some like little talkbacks and things like that. Food, the whole 9 yards. The films will start around 8:20 because we do have to wait till it gets dark. People have to remember that.
Right.
It's outdoors
It's outside
at night, yes.
But there's things to do, like you said before, that evening.
Right.
Now, people can spend the night,
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Why don't you talk about that?
Okay. So in terms of camping, you can go online to my website, which is www.cinematicgriot.com.
Cinematic Griot.
Yes, and that's
.com.
GRIOT, Griot, like storyteller.
right.
Yes. Or you can go to www.idlewildintfilmfest.com, and there you can register to camp on, the festival grounds. We also have a few VIP hotel room or motel rooms available. There will be a bus leaving from Detroit to Idlewild.
Oh, okay. That's what I wanted to know. Yeah.
Yes, we do have a bus leaving on the 23rd from Detroit to Idlewild, so you can stay the whole weekend. You just have to reserve your space online to do that.
Oh, okay. So, now as far as motel space, how would? Okay, I don't camp.
Right. Yes.
So what would I do?
So there's a few options. There are Airbnbs in the area, so you would want to search the, Airbnbs as we normally would anywhere we travel.
Right.
And also there's the bigger motels are in Big Rapids, which is about maybe 30 minutes from Idlewild.
Uh-huh.
So you can stay at one of the bigger motels, or you can stay at the numerous lodges around the area in Baldwin and, different cities around
and
there.
they're not very far.
No, they're not. I think Baldwin's like maybe 7 minutes from Idlewild. And they
Okay.
still have a lot of rooms available for that particular weekend, but they are filling up fast from what I heard.
Oh, okay. So the second day, all right, Friday, a movie start at
Yes.
8 something. The second day, what do we have?
So even after the movies will run for maybe, I think it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. I can't recall exactly. And then after that, you have your after party. So we have DJs that will be playing house music, different types of music, so you can party until like 1:30 or till they tell us enough is enough,
Yeah, I
the
know.
county. But then Saturday, basically, you start all over again. The gates will open at 4. We'll have, let me back up, actually.
okay.
Saturday's a little different. Saturdays, we do have indoor screenings and workshops.
Do you?
Yes.
Now, tell us about that.
Okay, so we have 2 workshops. We have one workshop, which will be a screenwriting workshop, which is led by Oakland University.
That's great.
And that's a 2-hour workshop. I'll have more details to that on our website on the 17th of this month, July. The second workshop will be a intro to camera workshop, which will be put on by Real Clever Films. I think it's called Real Clever Films in Ferndale, Michigan. They're a local production company, and they've come on as support for us as well.
Oh, that's great because, well, for one thing, screenwriting. That's something that just because you could write a play doesn't mean you could write a screenplay.
Totally different.
Totally
Yes.
different. Totally different.
And a lot of people don't know that.
Oh, I know it. That's
Yeah.
why I have this screenplay in my head. I said, I don't know if am I going to get sent. What is Centix? There's a screenwriting program.
Oh, Celtex. Yeah.
Right. But I also have the book, so, but it's good to take, I know how to write treatments.
Right,
There's
yes.
certain things that people need to know.
They have to, because otherwise it just becomes a big nightmare and a mess for
Nightmare.
everybody involved. You do want to take screenwriting courses if you want to do any type of filmmaking. A lot of people try to skip that, even if you do it online.
No, you
can do it online now.
You have to do it. You have to do it.
Yes.
I wouldn't even think about doing it and not knowing how.
Right.
Because people have to be able to follow what you're doing.
Exactly. We can't get into your head.
Yeah, people can't get into, and you want them to interpret it the way it is, So you'll have indoor films and outdoor at night.
Yes, same thing. The indoor will start, I believe we start at 12. And actually, in addition to the indoor films, we have the Black History 101 Museum is also traveling to
Really?
Idlewild. Yes, so they will be there, and they have a exhibit of over, I can't remember, was it 700 artifacts? He has quite a large selection of things to look at.
Wow.
And we also have
Who is
voices.
the
Oh, God, I don't want to mess his name up. I think it's Kahim. Please forgive me if I forget your name. Terrible with names. But yes, just Google Black History 101 and his name will come up.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, he's going to be there. He's also a native Detroiter. And we'll have art exhibit from the Voices of Idlewild, which is different artists locally and also artists from all over.
And people can network. They can, out of things like that, you could get the cast to your next film.
Yes.
You could get your production crew,
Right.
all of that. I
Right.
would go, because tell the audience, who do you want to attract?
I want to attract pretty much people who love nature and arts, because those things to me go hand in hand. We're not exposed to enough nature here in Detroit.
No.
We have little pockets of things
Lot
here
of
and there.
cement.
Yeah. And so for me, it was life-changing because, I realized that was something that was missing. I do garden and do things like that, but just connecting in that type of atmosphere where it's pretty quiet and laid back, and then at the same time you have, the music and things like that. It was just the perfect combination for me personally.
Right.
So I recommend it for everybody to go. Plus the history of Idlewild, that was the place that segregation built. That was one of the few
Right.
places that we were able to travel to as African Americans before for integration. So it's important that we know our history and research and learn.
Right. Well, so many fabulous historical entertainers performed there. I mean, it was just a mecca.
Right.
It really was. And people from all over the country
Yeah.
went to Idlewild.
And it can be that way again if we put some love and put some, work into it, and that's what I'm doing with the film festival. I feel like this is just one of the various things that are going on in Idlewild to help rebuild it, to make it what it was or better.
And our own Maxine Willis, who works here at the station, she grew up in Idlewild and
Oh,
worked
awesome.
in Mr. Letman's store.
Wow.
And, I mean, it's just amazing what she talks about, because a lot of people, that was their resort
Yeah.
or vacation. But growing up there, she has so much history about the community of
I'd
Idlewild.
love to hear her stories one day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She has them. She has them. It's just wonderful. And I wanted to ask you this: as far as food, what would people do? I mean, are you going to have vendors? How does this work?
So vendors, yes, we will have some vendors, but there are also people who are bringing food, like the campers. They bring their own food, they barbecue and things like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but vending has been kind of challenging for Idlewild. We do have some vending, but it won't be like a huge, mainstream
Right,
festival
right.
where you'll have 30, 40 vendors.
Right.
So that is a thing that's a little challenging because it's 50% rural. It's a rural part of Michigan.
Right.
So just come prepared, pack a picnic lunch or whatever. If you're staying the weekend, then there's restaurants around. There's things like that you normally would have anywhere.
Okay.
But it's a little bit different than here, where we can go two steps away to get food.
Yeah.
You want to be prepared and think that you may have to buy at the restaurants, local little restaurants and things like that.
Wow. Now tell us about some of the films.
Oh, the films. Oh, my God. I'm so excited about the films, first off, because it's a first-year festival. I was not expecting to get really good films, and I really feel like I got some really good films with just excellent production value. I've had over 91 submissions.
Wow.
Yes. Isn't that crazy?
Oh,
And so I know I got a lot of gray hair just narrowing it down. So we're down to 39 films that we're going to screen. They're all short form. We do have one feature-length film, which is called Detroit 48202 Conversations Along a Postal Route. Have you heard about that one?
no, tell us
Yeah,
about
it's
it.
a beautiful-
48202, if you
Yes.
live in that
Yes.
zip code.
Yeah, it's was directed by Pamela Sporn. She's a local filmmaker, and she did a wonderful job of just explaining how the housing crisis affected Detroiters and different political things that played into place. And I don't want to give away too much, but she did a wonderful job.
But was it around a certain year or what?
Just she followed
Or through
years. Yes, she followed years, and she.
Where is 48202?
I don't know. I think it is somewhere. It has to be somewhere near the Wayne State area, I would
Yeah,
think.
I think it would be because, well, I know where 04 and 06 are.
And I know where 01 is, so I'm thinking it's over there. But this is a guess.
So, yeah, the housing crisis and so much has happened in Detroit as far as housing and African Americans.
Right.
It is.
Yeah, and a lot
It's
of it is
crazy.
not our fault, which was exposed in his documentary.
Right.
And so there's been this long-standing tradition of blaming the residents for the state of Detroit, and a lot of that was beyond our control. And she does a great job of explaining that and breaking it down.
Well, of course, because Black Bottom, I think about Black Bottom, which was initially not a black area, but then as black people migrated from the South, they were kind of relegated to that area. The sewerage was bad, very little lighting on the streets. I mean, people had to live, it was terrible.
Wow.
And the environment there was not good. People did the rent parties and all of that just to survive. And
Yeah.
landlords did not take care of their property
Right.
once blacks moved in there. So there's so many forces that impact the situation
Especially
today.
poor communities.
Yes,
Yeah, it's like
it's
it's expensive to be poor.
It is expensive to
very.
be. Yes, yes, yes. There's so much, and people want to just blame. But there's a reason for it.
Yeah, and what I love most, and I don't want to tell too much, but what I love so much about that documentary is that she spoke to the youth in the city.
Great.
And because what she learned is that a lot of young people were feeling like it was our fault or their fault for the state of the city. And so the way that she told the story, it just revealed that it wasn't. And so it kind of inspires and build up our young people. And I love that.
That's wonderful, because that's been kind of plaguing me a lot, is because I don't know how to, I want to get to them and let them realize the rich history
Yeah.
and the people that they come from.
Right. This is not like Detroit is not ordinary. You can
No,
go
it's
anywhere and
not.
you'll meet like people who have all these tremendous skills and just talented, and you can't find that in a lot of different places throughout the United States.
Right.
And we're undervalued, and we don't understand our own talents and history a lot.
And that, I mean, I guess part of it is me having been an educator, trying to just bring them up and let them see the
Yeah.
history of it all.
Right.
That's always been very big in
Exactly.
my tool house.
We need people like you, so thank you.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready to do another project that deals with the young people.
Awesome.
It's very important. Now, how do people, okay, we know we could go on your website. Can they just put in, say if somebody can't remember the letters, can they put in Idlewild International Film Festival?
Yep. You can Google Idlewild International Film Festival. You can Google Idlewild Film Festival and we come up. You can go on Facebook and also look for the Idlewild International Film Festival. We'll be there. You can Google Cinematic Griot Collective. So I put a lot of different things in my search engine optics so you can find us.
Right. So some of the short films, can you give us some of the
Yeah.
subject matter?
Let's see. We have so many different ones. The main thing that I wanted to concentrate on for the first year, this is also a women's festival. I forgot to mention that.
Oh.
So you would have to be a woman producer, director, or screenwriter, or director of photography to even submit your film. So a lot of the content that we were looking for things that were culturally relevant, that talked about different ethnic groups. So we have films from Malaysia, we have films from China, Pakistan. Where else? I want to say Kenya. So all over. And of course we have our, Detroit stories and USA stories. But yeah, a lot of the content is just, different ethnic stories, different culture, traditions, things like that. We do have a couple of horror. We also have web
Horror
series. Yes.
films?
Yeah.
Oh, my
Just
God.
a couple.
Yeah,
I wanted
but-
more, but I couldn't get a lot. I wanted to scare people at night while they were watching movies.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that didn't happen this year. Maybe next year.
This has been a science fiction week for me.
Really?
I've watched a lot of science fiction, old science fiction.
Awesome. I love
Because,
science
and I
fiction.
was telling a filmmaker, a friend of mine, last night, we were talking, he's in LA, and I was telling him that I need him, see, he's seen the remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers. He needs to go back to the original
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
The original one is actually a lot scarier
Really?
than the first one, because the original one, I mean, they left a little more to your imagination, and you started wondering. And have you seen the original
Oh,
Invasion?
God, so long ago. I can't remember, probably as a kid.
Check it out again, because to me, they had gotten into the personalities, but got into the story. Story is very important.
Story is very important to me, too.
And then The Day the Earth Stood Still, the black and white version. That was 1952 or 54. But the thing about that was about a Martian who comes to town, well, to Washington, D.C., really for peace.
Right.
And they equated that to the story of Jesus.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
I mean, this is years later, and I've seen that film a million times and never noticed how this man comes, he tries to help, he is maligned, he is killed, and then he is resurrected.
Okay, I
in the
never thought
spaceship.
about it that
Look
way.
at it
Okay,
that
I
way.
am.
I mean, sometimes it's good when you're doing film or studying film to look at history.
Yes, yeah.
It's very, very
Especially
important.
remakes, yeah. When
These
somebody remakes
remakes,
stuff.
they overdo. They overdo.
They
I
dummy
like
down.
original.
I think they dummy it down a
They
little
dumb
sometimes. I don't
it
mean to
down.
be disrespectful to the writers, but sometimes they dummy down a story that was very, well thought out, and just when they redo
they
it.
add a lot of extra stuff that isn't even necessary. So, listen, the Idlewild International Film Festival, dates are?
August 23rd through the 25th, with the 25th being our VIP and our award ceremony. So we have 2 full days of festival events, which is the 23rd and 24th.
Fourth, and then the next day are the...
VIP and award brunch. Yes.
Wow, that's going to be so exciting.
I'm very excited about it.
I am. I mean, if you want me to continue to make some announcements about it,
That'd be great.
I don't mind. Just send me a press release or
Okay.
something.
Awesome.
I'll
Thank
do that
you.
for you.
Yes, I love that.
Because I love for people to support film, you know, and film now, it's streaming, it's all over the place.
Right.
So you heard it here, folks. Tanisha, she's doing a yeoman's job. I hope you have a crew.
I do. I have up like 27 volunteers now, so I'm happy.
Oh, great, great.
So thank you, volunteers.
Okay, shout out. So stay tuned. We'll be back in just a moment with the Austin brothers.
You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV. Detroit Live.
Hi, this is Brenda Perryman, and you can watch me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the WHPR TV Now app. Download our free app at WHPR TV Now.
Fridays at 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. Eastern.
Well, I am back, and a few years ago, these young men to my left and right were sitting on their daddy's lap. Now, it's a little different. They're almost sitting eye to eye with me. This is Nate Austin Jr.
I'm Nate.
And this is Andrew.
Hello.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hi. It's nice to see you.
Oh, again.
Yeah.
I feel like I've just watched you guys grow up, grow taller, grow more hair.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
All of that. So let's kind of go back to the past. Now, when you were first on, do you remember anything about that? I know you were on your dad's lap, but do you remember anything about that?
We were just talking about getting our company started, I believe. It was a really long time ago. We were really young. Like she said, we had to sit on our dad's lap. So
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure what we talked about, but
Yeah, but it was, I mean, going to evolve into this.
Yeah.
Now, when did you first know, and I'm giving a shout out, and I'll bring them up later, your parents, Nate and Tamika Austin, but when did you first realize that you could do something and it works for people? Was it through volunteer work, or did you start off selling?
it was through volunteer work. We started when we were 3 and 4, so it's been 10 years now. We've been in business 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah. And we walked into our parents' room and we said, we want our own company. And of course,
this was around the times that we were learning our ABCs, and so we said we want our company name to be ABC. And so we thought of we were in our room and figuring out a plan what it's gonna mean.
Well, we do have a video that we can get ready to show shortly, but you went into your parents' room and you said this is what we wanted to do.
We want to name it ABC. It's going to be Austin Brothers Company. And of course, being a 3 and 4-year-old, your parents are going to be like, yeah, okay, we're for sure you can have your own company, but they took us seriously.
Yeah, and
They
that's
did.
what I was getting ready to say. Where you
Yeah.
were fortunate was the fact that they did take you seriously, that they did say, well, let's encourage this, right?
Right. Yeah.
And let's go back a little more to your history. Were you both premature?
We were
Yeah.
both premature, yes. We were in the NICU.
NICU, NICU,
The Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, that's what it's called. And,
At Henry Ford
at Henry
Hospital.
Ford main campus, yeah.
I'm going to tell you something you don't know. My mother was a nurse at Henry Ford Hospital, and she was the first nurse in the NICU unit.
Yeah,
She
they're great
used to tap those babies to tell them to keep breathing.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that here you all are right now. And this was back in the early 80s, like 81, 80, and so forth. So, so you were in the NICU unit.
Yes, we were.
And that's funny because a lot of people say, well, maybe they're twins. You're not twins. It just so happens.
Yeah, we're a year apart. My birthday is January 1st. His is January 23rd. Our mom
Golly.
was stubborn. She said she didn't want us to have the same birthday. So she wanted to celebrate my birthday, and she waited 22 days. And now Andrew's here. We are 22 days apart.
Absolutely, absolutely. So one of the first volunteer things you did was what?
We did an online baby shower for a pregnant teen mom. She had absolutely nothing. She was homeless, and my brother and I wanted to get involved, and we just wanted to help her out. We raised over $500 in donations and resources. And
To help her out.
Yeah, she was a pregnant teen mom, and she's doing great now. We just
really?
we're looking to get in connection with her, and
Everybody needs that little leg up. Sometimes that leg up. Don't you agree, Andrew?
yeah.
And you know what I love about this is Andrew has had his health issues too, and he's kept it moving. Isn't that right? Tell us
I've
about
had some problems with my nose and
with
it's-
nasal.
with my nasal passages, and it's been a struggle, but I'm still here, and I'm gonna be able to do what I do because I love to do what I do.
Right, right. So you had that online baby shower, and you were able to help that young lady. What was next?
We did a few little things throughout the years. We didn't start business full time till 2015, so throughout the few years that we weren't doing business full time, we did a harvest festival. and a
Now, what
spring
was
festival. Basically, people came out to St. Martin's Church, I believe, and it was like a little concert. I don't remember too much about it. We were really young, but that was some of the little things that we did. We helped our parents out with that one.
Right, right. And I remember coming to an event at the Southfield Civic Center that you all did too, and you had singers and
Oh yeah.
all of
That
that.
was our benefit concert, and I believe that was in 2015 too. That's when we
That was in 2017.
2017.
yeah, yeah. Wait, was it 2017 or 16?
I think it might have been 16.
16. It was 16. I
Yeah.
remember 2017.
Yeah.
And then you were taking baskets. I think we have a video that shows some things. So if we could get that on the video, and we also have some pictures also.
Well, these two certainly look the part, don't they? This is Nate, he's 11. This is Andrew, he's 10. And they own their own company, but it's not for profit. It's to help other kids. They did that.
Success to us is when we see what's inside of our mind materialize on the outside. Success requires accountability and responsibility. Your imagination will unlock your doors to wealth. There's power in our words and there's power in our minds. We speak to situations that seem beyond our control. Let your faith take you someplace. Faith is now and the time is now. It's not about what you lost in the past or what you think you will have in the future. Faith is about what you have left in your hands. So let's do this. You can't let fear stop you. The purpose of fear is to stop you, make you immobile, and make you stagnant. We have the power and the authority to evict fear. Your dream has to be bigger than your fear. Opportunities are everywhere. It's just that we're not prepared. When opportunities present themselves, that's not the time to be getting ready. You have to be ready. Preparation plus opportunity equals success. So the question is, what's in your hand right now?
Great, 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 great. There's a little video history,
Yeah.
a little video history. And while we're talking, maybe we could, some pictures can come up while we're talking. But as you see in that, the big basket, there's some of the photos too. Now, you go out to schools also, don't you?
Yeah.
Tell us about that, Andrew.
And so one thing that we do is the back to school supply drive, and that's where we donate school supplies to Great Start and Head Start programs and schools that are in need, so that children don't feel left out and they don't feel singled out.
And the reason we do this campaign is, I'm just going to expound a little bit more. The children, if they don't have anything, let's say they go to school with a plastic bag and broken crayons and broken pencils. We don't want them to feel left out. We don't want them to feel
Insecure.
self-conscious, insecure. So my brother and I try to get involved with that cause, and we try to get involved as best as we can. So we donate school supplies, we give it to the principal, and the principal can distribute it in whichever way they need to.
Oh, that's a good idea. And you've had drop sites, right?
Drop spot kids.
Spots.
We put them in salons, barbershops, boutiques.
And drop spots are where we take a case and we give it to these locations, and we allow them to collect school supplies and whatever we may need for our campaigns, and we just pick it up by the time that we need it.
Yep, and then we deliver it to the schools.
Wow, that is great. Now, everybody, you think that was something. Look at this. 2 books. They're both, well, one's a first edition. I think one's a second edition.
Yeah.
Parenting. For 2 young men to write a book about parenting, you may say, how they know? You know, but this is according to Nate and Andrew.
Yeah.
And tell us why you decided to do this.
Well, we decided to write this book, Parenting According to Nate and Andrew, because it's the best way to show parents how to parent is by the child's perspective, because you don't know how to parent unless you have a child, so the child knows what works best for them.
Whoa. Yeah, what works best for them could be an ice cream cone every day.
Yeah.
No, I think maybe you're merging when you say what is best for them. But being able to, now you all have had successful parental relationships.
The reason we wrote this book is because we had a workshop for parenting, and everyone always asks our parents, how do they get us like this? They always respond, they were just sent here like this, we just try not to mess them up.
Right.
And these are tips that help our family work cohesively. And so we put it onto a book. We were doing a workshop about parenting. And so we gave the parents tips about what works for us and how they can apply it to their life.
Right.
What Andrew said was a part of the book-making process, but that's not the whole story.
I knew it, because the one thing I admire about you and your parents are your communication skills. And something you have here can really, this chapter 2, build your child's confidence preparation. I mean, building a child's, instead of a lot of times parents have a tendency to always criticize their children.
Yeah.
And when their children do something right, sometimes they don't say anything. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
So what do you try to encourage parents to do?
Just look back, reflect on things that your child has done, just great accomplishments. Our parents always, when we have great accomplishments, they take us out to get ice cream, or we make a
there's the
Boston
ice
cooler.
cream.
Yeah. So they always make sure that we know that they care for us, that they appreciate everything that we do, and that they're not taking it for granted. And
Right. Now, There's the ice cream. There's the ice cream. There's the reward. But here's the other thing. Parents need to think back on when they were children, don't you think?
Yeah, yeah.
And the things that work best for them, too, don't you think?
Yeah. I think that that's smart to do because one thing that our family did is they were committed to doing things differently because our mom grew up with not a lot of communication, and so she was committed to having communication in this house.
So I just want to say this real quick. So our mom, she does a lot of talking. She does a lot of
I
talking
know.
to us.
She was
makes
my
sure
student. I know.
Instead of punishment, she always says it's not punishment, it's consequences. And
Right.
consequences can be good or bad. So she always makes sure that we know. She always talks to us. She always makes sure that we know if we did something wrong, what we did wrong. She doesn't just get a belt. Or she tried that, but we hid the spoons from her. So
You hit the what?
she used to use spoons when we weren't acting right, but we ended up hiding the spoons and they never found them. So
Oh,
they ended
my
up resorting to communication.
Yeah, I know. I remember leaving the house, going to the store. I was mad at my mother, and I was younger than you. I was about maybe 9 or 10, and I slammed the door, and she came and opened the door and yelled out to me, "Wait till you come back." And so when she said that, I said, oh my God. I came back, but I sneaked into the house. And at the time, I had piano lessons. So I put all these piano books up my sleeves and up my arm to protect myself in case for the whooping. And she never did. I sat on the couch like this, waiting for her. But never got it. Never got it. My mother believed in punishment. You know, she really, really did.
Yeah.
And I think that this is important to parents. It really, really is, because, you know, you shouldn't be afraid of your parents.
Yeah. We like to think of our parents as our sisters and brothers in Christ. And we try to communicate as much as we can and talk like friends instead of...
One thing that they do is they do a good job of letting us know when they have to use their authority to like help us. I can't think of the right word.
resolve issues. We
resolve
have
issues.
a few issues. Me and my brother have a meeting of the minds. That's what we like to call it. And instead of them taking sides, what they do is they talk to us individually. They talk to us like friends and say, well, what's the issue? What's the issue here? What happened? How can we make it better? You know, and they talk to us like they're our friends, and so we look at our family as our friends.
Well, this book is part of your business.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about Crystal.
Crystal, this is our mom's service dog. She has a service dog. She has type 1 diabetes, and we are writing a book. There's a book in development. It's called Life, Me, and T1D. It's a book. It's an educational book from the standpoint of the service dog, because our mom has a service dog named Crystal, and she experiences everything with our mom.
And we want to help inform people about type 1 diabetes and how it's not the same as type 2.
There's a lot of misconceptions about type 1 diabetes and a lot of stereotypes, and we want to resolve those stereotypes with this book, Life, Me, and T1D.
And
And
50%.
wait a minute, let me see Crystal. And see, Crystal talks. Now, you don't always find this anywhere, everybody.
Yeah.
Crystal talks. Okay, Crystal. All right. Oh.
That's the voice of our little cousin. She's our brand model. So
Yes,
she's our
yes.
brand model.
And this adds fun to it, too, because a lot of people have type 1 diabetes, but, you know, even though type 2 is the one they have a lot of the commercials on television for and so forth. Well, there was a famous actress, Mary Tyler Moore, who passed away last year. She had type 1 diabetes all her life.
Yeah.
And she lived a long time, a good long time, and she was an advocate for education for type 1 diabetes. Now, what do we have here? Well, I'm going to go right here before I go to the sense.
All right.
Okay.
So this is for the Celebrity Reader campaign, where we go into schools and we read a short children's book. We're looking to read Life, Me, and T1D to the kids, but we read a short children's book, and then we leave them with some candy, a teddy bear, and a blank book like this one. And we tell them to write us a little story about the teddy bear and them. The teddy bear and them, just write a little story over the holiday break. We usually do this over winter break.
Right.
And just a short story, and then they send it all in. They send all the books in from the class, and then we publish it. We're looking to publish it and then send it to schools for the PTA to distribute it. And
This is great. This deals with literacy. I mean, that's a big component, literacy, being able to read, being able to express, and so forth. This is great, and plus they have Hershey's chocolate.
yeah.
I love that. I love that. Now, let's talk about, now who is this?
That's also for the Celebrity Reader campaign. That's one of the teddy bears that we give out. This is just a prototype, just little bears. We usually give out the big bears. I just want to give
Really?
a shout out to PetSmart. Every year they've donated teddy bears to my brother and I, our company, and we usually use them for the NICU, but they gave us a lot last year, so we were able to use it for the Celebrity Reader campaign. We gave it out to basically everyone we saw. Our cousins have them. We have some, and I really want to give a special thank you to PetSmart for sponsoring this.
Well, you would think that's enough, but it's not enough, because right here, we're going to talk about these items right here. These three.
So these are our fragrances. It's part of the
They have fragrances, and they smell great.
Yeah.
Why
So
don't you talk about this?
This is A squared. It's called Azul Azucar. Azucar Azul. That's what it's called. Azucar Azul. It means blue sugar in Spanish. So it's called blue sugar. That's what it's
And this is for men?
Yes, that's for men. All these are looking to come out Sweetest Day weekend. So when they're on sale, Sweetest Day weekend. And then we also have the Austin Brothers Body Balm and Lip Balm.
Body balm, lip balm. It's in such a great case because you could just push it back and put it, and then.
Yeah, we used it earlier too, so.
Oh, they
great.
used
It's
it.
great.
Uh-huh.
And our fragrance is part of the Sensual Collection line. It's called the Sensual Collection because it has to do with all your senses. The body balm and lip balm is edible, so you can taste that. You can
It's
smell
edible.
the fragrances. We have a book,
Now
so
this
you can see those.
goes like this.
Yep, we usually use it right here. And
Mm.
you can smell it.
Oh, I could like a man smelling like this.
Yeah.
Yes, this is great.
We asked our family members to smell it. Most of them said that they liked it. So
Now, how did you mix up this formula? How did you do this?
we were at home and we decided that. So we're homeschooled this year. I just want to let everyone know
Right. I
we're
was going
homeschooled
to
this
bring
year,
that up.
and we were doing chemistry. So we're working on chemistry, and so we decided that. Let me back it up a little. So in 2014, we decided to make a fragrance called Austin Brothers Cologne. And then in 2015, the lady who makes the fragrance passed. And we've always been trying to recreate that same fragrance, and we never could because it was just so unique. So we took it to a shop and created a whole new fragrance called The Gentleman. It's called The Gentleman. And we realized that we would have the same issue if the person who created The Gentleman passed away as well. So we decided, all right, let's take it into our own hands, know the own recipe of our own products, and we decided to make blue sugar, Azucar Azul, A squared, S squared, Austin Brothers Body Cream, Austin Brothers Body Balm, Austin's Buttercream. There's a lot of other fragrances, and these are just.
Those are for men.
Yep, those are going on sale.
Just leave us out. But that's okay. I think you'll come around to doing something for the ladies.
Yeah,
eventually.
we have fragrances for the ladies. Right now we're just showcasing the men fragrances because we have a date as to when these are coming out. These are coming out Sweetest Day weekend.
Now you brought up something because I do know others who are homeschooled. Do you like being homeschooled?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a unique experience. It's very interesting.
You tell me what you like about it, and then I'm gonna ask you.
I like that we're able to get out of bed, wash up a little, and then just go sit down at a desk and work. It's not very. It's structured, but it's not like school structure, like regular school structure. We're able to go outside between classes as we switch classes, and we get to study the things that we want to study. So if we want to study more about our business, more about entrepreneurship, philanthropy, we can. We have that option because there's not a curriculum. We create our own curriculum, and it's very unique structure, but not school structure. You can study whatever you like.
Right. You know, you really got to be disciplined to do
Yeah,
this.
you do.
What do you like about it, Andrew?
I like most of the same things that Nate said, but one of the things that I also like is when we were going to public schools, we had to juggle going to school, doing after school things,
Extracurriculars.
curricular things, and juggling our business. So I just like that we can incorporate it onto one with our homeschool. When we do homeschool, we work on our business.
We work on ministry, work on our business, we work on school, all in the same day.
You know, it really helps, just because I know your parents, it really helps that they are very smart people.
They're great.
Yes, very, very smart. I want to have them come up here just a quick second, come and kind of stand behind, so that the audience can see them. Come on, quickly. Uh-oh.
I have the real crystal with me.
Okay, the real Crystal is with us, and yeah, she'll take it. Here you go. Here you go.
Good morning.
This is Tamika and Nathaniel Austin. Nathaniel, by the way, he did my banners here in the back. He did those. So I just have to talk about that real quick, because he did those. He did my book, and they're so talented. So aren't you proud of your young people?
We are very pleased with them, yes.
Oh, I know you are. I know you are.
They keep us busy.
They do.
Well, good. They have encouragement and support, and it's nothing like that for young people.
You know what? We figured we would support them in whatever they did. We had no idea they'd be entrepreneurs, though.
Right.
This was a shock.
Well,
Yeah, we weren't expecting for them to come in and say, we want a business. It was like, okay, sure.
Clean your room first.
yeah. So what have you learned from this experience, quickly, both of you?
The biggest thing, like they said, is communication. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a kid or a parent or business or school, or it's communicating and learning how to effectively communicate amongst everybody, from your peers to people you work with and family.
Right.
And how to work together.
Yeah.
And
How to work together and appreciate each other's differences.
Right. Very good. Very, very good. Also, I think another thing that you've taught them to do is how to speak to people, how to communicate with people. That's very, very important, because people lump teenagers in a category, and these young men surpass any category.
Well, a lot of that is attributed to you,
Yeah.
Miss Perryman.
no.
When I was 16, I sat in the back of your class, and I kind of spoke like Andrew, very quiet. And this is what she told me: Miss Dudley, projection is your life.
Right. It is.
And that's what I've always told the boys when I can't hear them. I say, fellas, projection is your life.
Absolutely. Well, how can they find you? How can the audience find you, real quick?
www.austinbrotherscompany.com. You can find them on Facebook, Austin Brothers Company. They're also on Twitter.
Two Austin brothers.
They're also on Instagram, which is Austin Brothers Company.
Well, you saw them here first. I guess next time they'll be 12 feet tall. So we'll be back with Table Talk very shortly.